Welcome, everybody, to episode number 264 of Navigating Now. My name is Amanda Lobo. I am the Director of People and Operations here at Thaudium, and I am joined by my colleague today, Nora Forde. She is our Associate Chief of Staff and Associate Consultant here at Thaudium. Nora, how you doing? Thanks for joining me today.
Nervously excited.
One word for how you're feeling today.
Sweaty.
I know. I always have to coax you to get you to this table, but
yeah,
a good time when we do. So
yes,
thanks for joining today. Excited to share the stage with you. So Nora and I have partnered on designing and executing probably dozens of team experiences and gatherings at this point. And it's something that we're both really passionate about. And over time, I think we've both realized that we almost always leverage the same formula in different ways to ensure that our team experiences are highly effective with a material ROI. And when we think about ROI in this context, we're talking about things like trust, momentum, partnership, clarity, excitement to go back and do meaningful work in your role when you come off of this team experience. So we know that if done well, team experiences can be like rocket fuel for teams. I also want to note that many, if not most, teams are dispersed in 2026. Thaudium is one of those teams. And so when we make the investment to come together, there's obviously a real financial investment that comes with those moments. We want to make sure that they're very intentionally designed so our team can leave them feeling re-energized, excited, connected, and ready to just go back and dominate in their role. So we have three distinct elements that are going to go into what we would call the formula for high ROI team experiences. And we're going to unpack those three for you today. So Nora, can I hand it over to you to kick us off with the first?
Yeah. So first is the maybe obvious connection. And I think that you might just be like, oh, you're just in person, that's connection. But we really think about balancing the time that we have together. So we balance between structured and like organic free time, really trying to not jam pack every hour is always our goal. Like sometimes weeks are more filled than others, but our goal is to have a good amount of both. Really, like you said, we have people traveling from all across the country. People are coming in 4 or 5 hour flights. People come to Chicago only a few times a year. So we really want to make sure that there's space for them to do the activities that they want to do while they're here. And one of the big things is like, we always have like one big connection activity, which is always pretty fun. I've lived in Chicago my whole life, and we always are trying to find like new, fun, exciting things. We're in Fulton Market. There's tons to do. But we also like to leverage like, what does our team like to do? So like most recently we did a Second City show. We've had yoga classes together. We've gone to saunas. We always find little pockets for dinners and lunches. Bowling was another favorite one where we had a trophy that mysteriously disappeared. Grift. Someone is still coming for you for that. So the first thing is like making sure we're honest about our time. Like where are we spending it? Making sure we're not over structuring. And then the other part is really where can we have time for connection to really stick? So we can set up time for like 2-hour lunches and things when it's everybody, but we also want to have time for 2 or 3 people to go grab lunch together that like work on a project together, or people that are never working together and are like, I haven't really talked to you in a few months. So really paying attention to allowing people to build their own relationships within our team, not forcing it to always be like, we all do everything together. Like it's very autonomous over what people want to participate in or not. And then finally, this third piece is we want it to be really equitable, which I kind of just touched on, but just acknowledging our team is really diverse, that be in age, we have parents, we have caregivers, introverts, extroverts, everybody's different. Everybody's workload is different. Like there's just a lot of things people are coming in with. And one of the things that I think I have found most interesting, I've been here for like almost 4 years, is like happy hours are not our only time to connect. And I think I was thinking about this just before this, and I was like, you would think that's the first thing people think of when it comes to connection, building a relationship. And I can honestly say I've probably done the least amount of happy hours at Thaudium, and that's not in a bad way. But I also feel closer to everyone on our team than I do in other places I've been. So I just say like challenge the question of like, is that the only time you really get to know each other? I don't think that's always true. And we find really creative ways to do that too. So we do like again, at our most recent Thanksgiving, Amanda did like a little short dating, like couple questions where each person talked to every single person on the team. And I learned a lot of random facts about everybody. And it was like just a ton of fun to also like have some structure to it where it wasn't just like walk around and ask a question. It was a really fun, energizing activity. Another favorite is our service day at Digs with Dignity. So we've been doing that for the past like 3 or 4 years. Another opportunity to just like do something different, do something for somebody else completely, get our hands dirty in a way that we normally don't. You know, we're usually sitting on computers. So it's just a nice way to like see ourselves in a little bit of a different element. And then our always favorite thing that I think Amanda has a real special recipe for is our big dinners. So like from the tablescapes to the music to the candle lighting, like every little thing to make people feel like it's just a really special night together. Those are just some of the things that we always try to focus on.
I love it. I do want to clarify. I didn't make our team go on dates with each other. But it was almost like a mini speed dating type of thing. We called it our 2-minute mingles. I feel like as our resident HR practitioner, I need to just cover my tracks there. I think thanks for sharing all that, Nora. And what I think is so important is to think about your audience, think about your team, and what really makes them excited. What are the different ways that you can get them interacting with each other and not just defaulting to the happy hour or not that having a drinking centric activity isn't fine. We just don't have a massive drinking culture here. And so we tend to lean into more well-being modalities because that works really well for us. And don't get me wrong, like we certainly have happy hours and different events that maybe that is more of a focal point, but know your team, know what they're really into, and plan for that. And, you know, it's also fun just to get people outside of their comfort zone. So like to your point, Nora, like I love our kind of Chicago focused ones, knowing that only about half of our team is local. We have so many people that haven't experienced the lakefront or haven't experienced Second City or Drunk Shakespeare or something like that. And so you can even leverage your geographical, like wherever you're gathering, to think about, oh, this could be a really fun, unique experience that we wouldn't get elsewhere. That could be really fun to introduce our remote folks to. And the other point I want to make is don't assume that this first element of connection isn't important if you have a highly connected team. We have a team that there is a lot of friendship. There's a lot of connection. Our team gets along really well. There's a lot of care for one another, and we have a lot of fun together. So one could argue, well, we don't need to like build this in because we're already so connected. But I would say the opposite is true. You have to continue to provide that space and provide those moments for people to connect on new things. Or, you know, we're always bringing in 1, 2, and 3, 4 new people, like giving them the opportunity to learn about their teammates and vice versa. So it doesn't matter if you've got a team that is super connected, really friendly in and outside of the work, or maybe that's like reps you're still building. The connection piece sits as number one for us, and that's what we would recommend to any team, leading with connection.
Totally. Yeah.
I think connection that's right-sized for your team is how I would recommend it.
And it can feel like maybe that's a soft thing or an obvious, easy thing, but I think hopefully just those few things that we're thinking about can get you thinking about maybe not just falling out of the default of what you always do or what you think everybody likes and like trying to play into just doing something different.
100%.
Okay. So how do we tie this back to the actual work that we do together? Because
so shifting maybe out of the connection piece, which again, I think is kind of the foundation for it all, and maybe into being better at the work that we do. So when we come together, we think it's so important, and we're learning practitioners. So we might be a little bit biased on how important this is, but when we come together, we want to carve out time to become better practitioners. So that can be in the form of direct skill building. That can be pressure testing what we're hearing in the marketplace and ideating on innovative ways to serve our clients better. So I would really break learning and enablement into 3 core buckets. So when we come together, we might spend time in one of these 3 lanes. It could be honing our craft and skills. So this could be upskilling on a dedicated topic. It could be dry running and upcoming facilitation that we want to make sure we nail for a client. It could be anything that's going to get us learning something or being better at the work that we do versus, you know, when we're all at home on our own, or maybe even in office, like we're passively learning and consuming. We want to create like actual learning moments for our team to get better at the work that we do. So that's the first core bucket, honing our skills and our craft. The second would be what I would call like capability or solution building. So this would be creating space for us to talk about what's happening in the market and think about how we could serve our clients in a different way. So playing with new solutions, building confidence, or just different ways that we can make sure that our approach to how we serve our clients is fresh and innovative and relevant. So a good example of this would be, it was about a year ago, we had started to develop our simulation offering at Thaudium. We had a client we were doing it with, and after we had kind of proven it out and had an iteration of an engagement, though that project team actually brought us an upskilling on what simulations looks like here, and it was fun and it was immersive, and everybody left it feeling like, oh, I understand how we could bring this to my account or my client, and also I understand how this fits into like our more broad portfolio, right? So whatever that might mean for you, your product, your service, think about how you could spend time, getting in the innovation space, like whiteboarding and having just create a space to bounce different ideas off of each other, or after you've done that, coming back and distilling that down to the rest of your team. The third bucket that could fall into learning enablement would be, maybe it's a moment to refine shared language. Like maybe there's a process that's broken, or there's some standards that need realigned. Maybe you need to come together and reestablish what great looks like in some aspect of your team or your business. So there's lots of different ways that you can learn and get better together: upskilling, capability building, refining shared language. And coming together is just such an incredible opportunity to do it, because we know that it's just hard to get in that mind space when you're doing it through Zoom. People are more creative. It sticks better when you've got that hands-on in-person experience. So that's typically part of our formula, where we come together and work on some aspect of ourselves, or jam on some aspect of our business to be better practitioners.
Yeah. I want to just say a little more about the upskilling piece. I think it's a cool way. We both use our internal team of like, what is everybody really talented at? What are they good at? What do they want to teach us? And also bring in people totally outside of Thaudium to bring in new ideas. So I think it's a really cool balance of really honing in on the genius of our Thaudium team, but then also getting like a brand new perspective on something. And I like think about Michael, maybe was it 2 years ago? Like bringing up simulations, like the first time I heard it, and now it's like fully a part of so many of our client offerings. So it's really cool to just see truly an idea of something that he had or had seen be brought to life and not too much time. So
for sure. And again, we have like so much, these moments when you're all together, just an incredible opportunity for your team to express like their authentic selves and how they show up in those environments. Like Nora, you remember Michael and Layla doing that simulation upskilling to the team. They like made it Matrix themed, and there was funny music, and it was just a blast.
They had mints of different colors. Which side were you choosing? Like it was a whole show in the best way.
Yeah, like, and encouraging your team to really bring their authenticity, and that's your moment to get out of the work where you might have to ordinarily be super buttoned up, and you can just have a little bit of fun and a little bit of levity when you think about just getting better together.
Yeah, love it.
Awesome. You want to take us home with the third one?
Yeah, our third is collaboration. And we touched on that a little bit in the learning, but this is really like being in the work together. So this is like truly having time to make decisions, problem solve, and maybe building new solutions together. Again, when we're remote, we don't have time to really have like a 1 hour, 2 hour block to really brainstorm. I think oftentimes a lot of our best conversations will be like, I just heard this podcast, or I just saw this thing on LinkedIn, or like these little tidbits that I think if you feel constrained to a 30-minute meeting, you're like, that's not really worth saying. And that can be where some of the richest additions to some of our work can come from. So really it's about like allowing us to be creative and letting that bring more clarity. And then I think from there, we can like delegate ownership a little bit better. I think when we're all, especially depending on how big the team is, like I think of like our Texas rural, we've had like 7 people at some points on calls where it is hard to be like, who's actually making the decision. So when you are together, it really allows you to be like, here's where we're going, move forward, continue on. So being in person, being in the work together is really also just like the most fun. So part of it is this space for creativity. We have whiteboards, we have giant sticky notes, we have colors and stickers and anything you can imagine galore. So the time to actually get to like play with those things and use our hands, and it seems silly, but like when you use your hands, you're getting out of your head and you're allowing just like bigger thoughts to come to the front of the table. And yeah, like it just allows for more newness. So I think we just can't let go of like why the in-person part of the collaboration is so important. I know like our LT team gets together every quarter or so to do that because it is different than the 4 of them being on Zoom, 5 of them. And so, yeah, we think that collaboration in person is really where newness comes from, creative ideas, and probably better decisions in the long run.
100%. The presence is different when you're physically in the room, right? When you're at your computer, you're in the meeting, but you're also getting a Slack notification and daycare is messaging you and your mom is texting you and you have all these other disruptors that when you're sitting in a conference room or in your office somewhere and your screen is tilted down and you're just focused on a whiteboard or a massive, flip chart, you're just more present. You're more present.
And you can like feel the excitement of other people when they have a good idea. Then you're like way more into it. Yeah,
totally. Yeah, that in-person collaboration piece has been just an exciting thing for our team to lean into. And I know that that's not unique to us. I think it's that natural energy that comes with being in the room with people working on the same thing that you're excited to be working on. Yeah.
Right.
One thing we haven't talked about, so this has been kind of our formula for when we bring our team on site into our office. I also maybe want to highlight the difference and maybe the importance of an offsite. So if we think about onsites creating momentum in your business, offsites can create momentum outside of your business. Okay. So the reality for us is we're a client services business. We are almost always in a service orientation. There's an intensity that comes with client services. And so for us, we've identified that on an annual basis, it's really important for us to practice what we preach and step out. And we've done this for the last 3 or 4 years, where it's somewhere in the summer, we close the computers for 3 to 4 days and we go to different locations. We have different themes that we've brought forward, which has been so fun to design with you. And it's just a moment for your team to restore and renew and connect with each other and just like take a breath. Like we are all working so hard. It doesn't matter what industry, what your role is right now. Like everybody is trying to do more with less. And that's just the reality of the world right now. And so we think it's so important and we walk the talk here and make that investment on an annual basis. So as you're thinking about, okay, this is the cadence that I would like my team to gather this year. For us, I'll just pull back the curtain. Like we get together quarterly. 3 of those are on site, 1 is off site. And I make sure that those dates are held on the calendar. Like we've already got our year's cadence planned out. That allows our teammates to plan their life around it. It allows people like Nora and I that are designing and delivering these experiences to be planned and know like what the purpose is and the elements that we might want to bring forward in them. And it keeps leaders accountable to making sure that time is sacred. And it also sends a message to your team that like, this is an investment that we are making and it's an investment in you. And we're committed to it. So I wanted to maybe just highlight the differences between onsite, offsite, both. I think there's a time and place for both. And I don't know if there's anything you want to add to that, Nora. You've been key in both of those.
I would just say with the offsites, I think onsites, they still can be jam-packed, right? Like we're still trying to do as much as we can, whether that be connection or work. I think offsites, I can speak for most of the team. I think when we say people actually do feel like renewed, refreshed, reconnected to each other, hopefully reconnected to themselves and like why we do the work that we do. Because while we're maybe not in a most like overtaxing like healthcare or something, like we still are constantly on and constantly giving. So truly having days, hours to be like we're all unplugged, I think is just like pretty rare. So I think we just make the most of that time and everybody feels it afterwards.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. It's been a fun, I love our offsites.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that in the rapid fire at the end. So
Oh, okay.
awesome. So maybe I'm just going to summarize kind of what the formula for our viewers. So again, when we're thinking about high ROI, materially leaving a team on site, feeling energized and recommitted to the business and their role, we want to start with connection. We want to make sure that people feel grounded in the people that they're working alongside or the people that they don't get as much access to. Never underestimate the power of connection. If you've got a strong connection across your team, continue to invest in it. If it's something that you're still building, find the baby steps, find the crawl, walk, run to build that connection. But this should always be the foundation. The second element is learning and enablement. Figure out how to find time to get better at whatever it is that you do together. That in-person learning experience is unmatched. We believe it, and we really walk the talk on that. And then the third piece being collaboration. Find some time to get distraction free. Think about how you can better do the thing that you do for clients or whatever industry it is that you play in, and find that space to get in a whiteboard or get those post-it notes out, and get divergent, and then just get more productive together. And then again, think about your cadence. How often are you getting together? What's the purpose of those gatherings? Can you figure out how to take your team offsite, figure out how to get some restoration and reconnection to each other and oneself? And again, I think we just feel really passionately about this specific formula. And I'll say, Nora, it's been, as you begin your client-facing journey, and you'll be creating experiences for our clients. It's been so fun to build these alongside you, and you've seen how passionate I am about it, and you've come in and brought your own spin. And I will miss you in that space, but you've done just such a great job building those for our team. So I thank you.
Yeah, I was thinking it's like if you came over to me and Amanda's house for a dinner party, it might be pretty similar because we're both like just love to do this. I
Yes.
think our team can feel that we love to do this. It's not a chore. And so yeah, it's so much fun to do.
I joke, it's like my Super Bowl. Like when we do an annual Thanksgiving, and Nora mentioned, like, I love a tablescape, and I always try to make it beautiful and different every year. And it's no different. Like if you came over to dinner for my house, I would have similar elements, and I would be bringing similar things. So it bleeds into all corners of your life when you get
100%.
excited and intentional about this stuff. Awesome. Okay, I want to leave our audience. I just want to ask you one rapid fire. Typically, we do like a handful of rapid fires, but I just want to ask you one related to this topic. What has been your favorite Thought Team experience since you joined us?
Oh my goodness. Okay.
The one that sticks with you. I'll say your favorite to participate in, not plan.
I'd say probably from our first offsite when we were, I don't know how many we had at the time, but we felt really small. And we had we've talked about this before, but we had one activity where we all went around the room and shared how we saw other people and got time to really reflect to each other, just who you were as a human, and to see everyone from the CEO to people that were their second week into work really step into it and truly just like want to get to know each other better as humans and want to reflect that, and it not be like, you're great at slides and you're great at facilitating. It's like, no, you make me feel seen, and really just like made it feel really human and cool. And that definitely was like a moment in time for my tenure at Thaudium.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't agree more. That was, I credit that offsite, shout out Max Schneider, if you're watching, to the culture we have today. That was like a foundational stepping stone moment to the connection and to the trust that we see on our team today. And to your point, like if we wouldn't have taken that moment to step out from the business to invest in each other and ourselves, like who knows what our culture would look and feel like today. It would probably feel pretty different. That was a moment. That was a career moment for myself, and I know a lot of people on our team. So
Totally.
yeah, I love that. Awesome. Well, Nora,
can I ask you the same question?
You
have to get a different one.
I have to get a different one. That one's up there for me, though. I would say, man, that's really hard. I mean, the Thanksgiving event is my favorite annual event. So we always come together before the holidays, get too busy. We do, kind of our typical formula that we shared with you. But then we always do a Thanksgiving dinner where we cater in some food, and there's always a toast. Nora always brings like a fun, unique flair. The last couple of years, we've done Thought Team Awards where our team votes on, about 10 different awards to just acknowledge and recognize people that are demonstrating real excellence and impact. And it's just, it's the end of the year. It's usually like kind of cold, and we're gearing up for Christmas and the holidays. And it's a moment for us to just acknowledge the year that we just had and really celebrate each other. So I always leave that one feeling like way high, like just really excited about all that our team has accomplished. And this last one was really fun as well. I thought just being able to
always give a really meaningful toast at those Thanksgivings too.
I try. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd say Thanksgivings.
That checks out.
Well, thank you so much for joining me here today. I know I roped you into this, and I love having you in these discussions with me. So thank you for joining me. And thank you to our viewers for tuning in to episode 264 of Navigating Now. My hope is that you come out feeling inspired to think about how you plan for your team experiences. Maybe you're going to bring in a little bit more intention or bring in an element or two that we've suggested today. If you ever want to jam or grab some time with either Nora or myself, you can find our contact on our website, thoughttm.com. And you can find this episode and all episodes of Navigating Now at thoughttm.com/live. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys soon.